Before I get into this video, I'm going to ask you guys to head over to the subscribe button and hit the subscribe button, and while you're there, hit the notification button. And if you're not following me on Twitter or Instagram, you can follow the links down below. What's up guys, today is Wednesday, which means hashtag Book Wednesday, a daily week where I talk to you guys about books. And today's video is books that I want to read before Christmas. Yeah, I have a few books that I really want to read, and some of these books have been sitting on my bookshelf for a bit of time, and I'm starting to get sick and tired of seeing them, and I want to get them read and finished. First of all, I just want to give a quick update on my progress of this book, which is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I am still very slowly getting through this book. I'm on chapter 25 at the moment. I'm still finding this book to be very slow, but I'm hoping, because I'm still very much in the early days of this story, that it does get more exciting. I'm actually struggling to read this story because I find it a bit boring. Nothing's happening, nothing exciting is happening, nothing's keeping me really entertained, and I don't know if I'm actually even going to end up finishing this story. So it's going to be a bit of a bummer. It's going to be a book that I probably will have to drop and revisit at some point. But on to more positive sides of things. I have a load of books here that I want to talk about, why I want to read these books and why I want to get them read before Christmas. One of the first books I have on this pile is the second book in the School of Good and Evil, and this is A World Without Princes. I'm not exactly sure, can't really remember what this second story is about, but I do remember the first book in the series, and I know the girly cover is really off-putting, but the story itself was so good. I really enjoyed the first book, so I'm hoping this one is going to live up to expectations I have since reading the first book. And again, as I said, really enjoyed the first one. I don't really care how girly this cover is and how girly this book may be, but I really enjoyed the story of the first one. And this one I hope to be a good story too. Hopefully it's not going to be too girly, because the first one wasn't really all that girly. But yeah, I really want to read this book because the story was good in the first one, so I want to know what this one's going to be about. The second book I have on the list is a book I've had for about 2, maybe 3 years on my bookshelf, and I have failed to pick it up so many times, and that is The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Nass, and this is the first book in the Chaos Walking series. Now, I've heard great stuff about this series. I used to follow Patrick on Twitter. I had to unfollow him because he kept spoiling this book, which kind of really annoyed me about the fact that why are you spoiling your book? Not everyone has read it. But I have read other stuff by him and not been impressed, but I've heard such good things about this Asha story, this trilogy, so I'm hoping this is going to change my opinion on his writing, because I found other books I read by him to be very boring and characters quite bland. So yeah, I kind of really want to get this book read and finally off my TBR, and hopefully get it read in the next couple of weeks. The next book I have on this list is a book that I was hunting every bookshop in Ireland nearly for, and I could never find it in the bookshops I went into. I finally came across it at the weekend, and that is The Ice Like Fire. And I read Snow Like Ashes a year, maybe 2 years ago. I'm not exactly sure. It's hardback, so this is paperback, so whatever it is. And I've been looking for this book for ages because I really wanted to get into the story again, and hopefully I get to read this one very quickly or soon, because it's been one of these stories that I've been itching to get my fingers on, so I probably will read this one quickly. And the reason why I want to get this read before Christmas is because I've been looking for so long. The next book I have, I believe, is the third and final book in a trilogy. I'm not sure if it is a trilogy or not, but that is The King's Cage by Victoria Aveyard. I had to look at her name there for a second because I couldn't remember it. And I actually really enjoyed the first 2 books. Now, again, the first 2 books, I've always compared them to the X-Men. It's just a retelling of the X-Men, and I think that's why I enjoy it so much. I really am a fan of the X-Men and an X-Men style of books. So I am looking forward to reading The King's Cage and having it on my bookshelf for the last number of months. I'm going to finally get to read it soon, hopefully. Again, of course, I want to read the book I am currently reading and finish that first before I do that. But yeah, it's definitely going to be there on the list for books to read before Christmas. The next two books I am going to double barrel because they're by the same author. The first one is A Magnus Chase and the Hammer of Thor, and the next one is The Trials of Apollo, The Dark Prophecy. These are both by Rick Riordan, and anyone who knows me well enough to know that Rick Riordan is probably one of my favorite YA authors. I absolutely love going back to mythical creatures and stories based on Norse gods and the Greek gods. I'm not too gone on his Kane Chronicles series. Never really could get into it, but I've heard great things about it, and I might read it. I keep saying I might go back and try reading it. I do have the first book in the series downstairs. But but I really do want to read these books before Christmas because I am a huge fan of Rick Riordan, and I just want to get back into these stories because they're quite good. So these two books are definitely on my list to read before Christmas. The last book I have on this list is by my main man, and that is Tarnan. And this is the final book in his Summoner trilogy, and this is Battle Mage. And I've heard such great things about this story. The ending on this book is supposed to be amazing, and the ending of this trilogy has left people asking for more from him, which is actually pretty amazing. I actually really enjoyed the first two books. So the first book is the Summoner, and the second book is the Inquisition, and then we have the Battle Mage. Now the Inquisition, which is the second book, had a twist at the end. I kind of foretold it myself. I kind of guessed it midway that this was going to happen, but I'm hoping this book has a lot of twists and turns the story up upon itself, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. And I think, and even though I have a lot of other books I want to read, I think this one probably will be number one, along with a couple of others that it'd be there on my top of the list. I have to order these in a way that I want to read them. So yeah, that is like the list of books that I want to read before Christmas. As I said, there is not really a particular order at the moment on these books. It's because I kind of want to be reading them in a sense that I want to read them rather than being forcing myself to read them. But on that note, everyone, if you like this video, please give me a good old like. If you haven't subscribed, you can click over here to subscribe. And if you want to see more of my content, you can click it down here. On that note, everyone, I shall see you all on Saturday.